Alright, let's have a little chat. When you think of Portugal, what comes to mind? Is it Cristiano Ronaldo kicking a football into another dimension? Is it those delicious little custard tarts? You promise yourself you'll only have one, but then you blink and you've eaten six. Or maybe it's that one friend who went to Lisbon for a weekend and now won't stop talking about it. Short. Well, I'm here to tell you that Portugal is all of that and so much more. It's a country packed with so much charm, history, and sunshine that you'll wonder why you didn't visit sooner. It's like finding an extra fry at the bottom of the bag. But the bag is a whole country. Imagine a place where ancient castles look down. I'm on vibrant modern cities, where the coastline is so stunning it looks photoshopped by Mother Nature herself, and where the people are as warm as the freshly baked bread they serve with every meal. That's Portugal for you. It's a country that doesn't just welcome you, it gives you a big, warm hug, a pat on the back, and asks if you've eaten yet. It's a place where every winding cobblestone street tells a story, and every sunset over the Atlantic feels like the grand finale of the world's greatest show. This isn't just a holiday destination, it's an experience that sticks with you. Now, I've been lucky enough to travel a bit, and I can honestly say there's a certain magic to Portugal that's hard to put into words, but I'm going to give it a go. It's the kind of magic that makes you want to learn a few words of Portuguese, even if you just end up pointing at things and saying obrigado with a massive, hopeful grin. The food is incredible, the scenery is breathtaking, and the vibe is just so wonderfully relaxed. It's the perfect place to unplug, unwind, and just enjoy the simple things, like the taste of fresh seafood or the sound of fado music drifting from a nearby restaurant. I've put together a list of 15 places that will make you want to pack your bags, book a flight, and get your adventure on. We're talking epic castles, stunning beaches, and cities so colorful they make a box of crayons look a bit dull. From the bustling streets of Lisbon to the serene vineyards of the Douro Valley, and yes, we will talk more about those custard tarts, I promise. Let's do this. First up on our grand tour is the one and only Belém Tower in Lisbon. This thing is gorgeous. It sits right on the edge of the Tagus River, like a stone-carved bulldog guarding the city. Built in the 16th century, it was the starting point for so many of Portugal's famous explorers as they set off to discover new worlds. It's a symbol of the nation's age of discovery, a time when Portugal was basically the Google Maps of the 1500s. Fun fact, the tower has a stone carving of a rhinoceros, believed to be the first depiction of one in European art. Why did the rhinoceros get a spot on the tower? Because he was outstanding in his field of exploration. Get it? Outstanding? Tough crowd. Next, you absolutely have to hop on tram 28. This isn't just public transport, it's a rattling, rumbling, yellow time machine that clatters its way through Lisbon's most historic neighborhoods. It squeezes through streets so narrow you could probably high-five someone in their living room. Alfama Graça Baixa fun fact. These charming trams have been in service since the 1930s and still use much of their original machinery. Riding tram 28 is the only time you'll enjoy being in a jam. You see what I did there? Traffic jam, tram, never mind. Of course, a trip to Lisbon isn't complete without a visit to Jerónimos Monastery. This place is absolutely massive and so intricately designed, it looks like it was decorated with a giant lace doily. It's a masterpiece of Manueline architecture, which is a fancy way of saying it's super ornate and inspired by all the cool stuff explorers brought back from their travels. It's right next to Belém Tower, so you can take two wonders off your list. Fun fact, the monastery was funded by a 5% tax on spices imported from Asia, which means it was basically built on cinnamon and pepper. I asked a monk for the monastery's Wi-Fi password. He said you must connect with a higher power first. Fair enough. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for, pastéis de Belém. They've been using the same secret recipe since 1837, and trust me, you can taste the history. Warm, creamy, flaky, dusted with cinnamon, they're little bites of heaven. Fun fact, the secret recipe is known by only a handful of people who are forbidden from traveling on the same plane together. What's the best way to eat a pastel de nata as quickly as possible so no one asks for a bite? It's not sharing, it's self-care. Let's head north to Portugal's second city, the impossibly charming Porto, and its crown jewel, the Ribeira district. This is the heart and soul of Porto, a vibrant riverside neighborhood with a maze of narrow streets, colorful, slightly higgledy-piggledy houses stacked along the Douro River. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, buzzing with cafes, restaurants, and street performers. It's the perfect place to just wander, get a little lost, and soak up the atmosphere. Oh, and fun fact, The district's name, Ribeira, literally means river bank. Simple, effective, I like it. Why do the houses in Ribeira lean on each other? Because they need support after a few glasses of port wine. They get a bit wobbly. Speaking of which, you can't go to Porto without indulging in a bit of port wine tasting in Vila Nova de Gaia, just across the river. This is where all the famous port wine cellars are located. Tours, tastings. You'll learn all about how this famous fortified wine is made and get to sample different varieties from rich, fruity ruby ports to nutty, complex tawny ports. Fun fact, for centuries, barrels of wine were transported down the Douro River on special boats called barcos rabelos, which you can still see moored along the river today. I went for a port tasting and they asked if I wanted to spit or swallow. I mean, come on, that's like asking a kid if they want to spit out their candy. No way. But this isn't just a bookshop, it's a cathedral of books. It's one of the oldest and most beautiful bookshops in the world, with a breathtaking red staircase, intricate wood carvings, and a stunning stained glass ceiling. It's said to have inspired J.K. Rowling when she lived in Porto, and you can totally see a bit of Hogwarts in its magical design. Fun fact, the famous staircase was one of the very first to be built with reinforced concrete. Who knew concrete could be so glamorous? I bought a book on antique Vur Averiti T at T or Livarelelo. I couldn't put it down. It was seriously uplifting. Leaving the city behind, we journey into the spectacular Douro Valley. This is where the grapes for port wine are grown, on steep terraced vineyards that have been carved into the hillsides over centuries. The landscape is absolutely breathtaking, with the winding Douro River flowing through a valley of endless green and gold. You can explore it by car train or even a river cruise. Fun fact, the Douro Valley is the world's first ever demarcated wine region, established way back in 1756. It's the OG of wine regions. What did one grapevine say to the other in the Douro Valley? Heard it through the grapevine, this year's harvest is going to be amazing. Now we're heading down to the sun-drenched south, to the famous Algarve region, where the beaches are golden and the cliffs are dramatic. First on our list is the incredible Benagal Cave. This is a massive sea cave with a huge hole in its ceiling, which lets the sunlight stream in and illuminate a secret sandy beach inside. It's like a natural cathedral, accessible only by boat, kayak, paddleboard. It's one of those places that looks even better in real life than it does in pictures. Fun fact, the hole in the ceiling is called an eye and was formed by erosion over thousands of years. And I wanted to tell a joke about the Benagal Cave, but I think it would just go over your head. You know, like the giant hole in the roof? Okay, moving on. Next up is Ponta da Piedade. This is a stunning stretch of coastline near the town of Lagos, featuring a collection of dramatic rock formations, sea arches, and hidden grottos that have been sculpted by the wind and waves. The turquoise water against the golden orange cliffs is a sight to behold. You can take a small boat tour to navigate through the arches and explore the caves up close, with local fishermen giving them all sorts of funny names like the elephant or the kissing couple. Fun fact, the name Ponta da Piedade translates to Piety Point, but the scenery is anything but pious. It's wild and spectacular. I tried to take a selfie at Ponta da Piedade, but the view was so distracting, I just ended up with a picture of my jaw on the floor. Our final stop in the Algarve might just be the most spectacular viewpoint of all, Cabo de São Vicente, or Cape St. Vincent. This is the most southwesterly point of mainland Europe, a place that was once known as the end of the world. The dramatic cliffs rise almost vertically from the ferocious Atlantic Ocean, and the lighthouse here is one of the most powerful in Europe. Watching the sun set from this spot is a truly epic, soul-stirring experience. Fun fact, the Cape was considered a sacred place in ancient times, and it was a major landmark for sailors navigating the treacherous waters. I told my GPS to take me to the end of the world, and it brought me here. I guess it has a flair for the dramatic. The Algarve isn't just about these showstoppers though. It's a region filled with charming fishing villages, world-class golf courses, and miles upon miles of pristine beaches where you can relax, swim, and soak up the Portuguese sun. Whether you're an adventurer looking to explore sea caves or just someone who wants to lie on a beach with good book and a cold drink, the Algarve has got you covered. It's the perfect sun-kissed finale to our tour of Portugal Portugal's coastal wonders, a place that invites you to slow down and just enjoy the beautiful view. It's a slice of paradise that feels both wild and wonderfully welcoming. Now, while the big cities and famous coastlines get a lot of the limelight, let's not forget the incredible heartland of Portugal. Here, we have a couple of bonus gems for you. First, let's talk about Évora, the capital of the Alentejo region. This city is like an open-air museum. Roman ruins, medieval walls, chapel of bones. Yes, a chapel decorated with the bones and skulls of over 5,000 people. Fun fact, the inscription over the chapel door reads, "We bones that are here, for yours we wait." Cheery, right? I visited the Chapel of Bones and asked the guide if it was popular. He said, "People are dying to get in." Then there's the historic university city of Coimbra, home to one of the oldest universities in the world, founded in 1290, the Joanina Library. Spectacular Baroque interior, rows of ancient books. It's so precious that it has its own resident colony of bats. Fun fact, each night the bats are released to eat any insects that might damage the old books. They're the world's fluffiest librarians. Why did the student study in the Joanina Library? Because he wanted to get a bachelor's degree. I know, I'm here all week. Let's also give a shout out to the mountain village of Monsanto. This place is absolutely extraordinary. It's known as the most Portuguese village in Portugal, and its houses are built right into, under, and between giant granite boulders. Some homes have massive rocks roof, while others have them as walls. It's like a real-life Flintstones town. Fun fact, in 1938, Monsanto won a national contest to find the most Portuguese village. As a result, building restrictions have kept it perfectly preserved ever since. Living in Monsanto must be great. You'd never have to worry about your house blowing away. It's rock solid. And finally, a quick trip to the island of Madeira, the floating garden of the Atlantic. While not on the mainland, it's an essential part of the Portuguese experience. This volcanic island is a paradise for hikers, with its unique levada walks and dramatic mountain scenery. It's also the home of the world-famous Madeira wine and some rather thrill-leveling wicker toboggan rides down steep city streets. Fun fact, the toboggan sleds are steered by two men in traditional white outfits and straw hats who use their rubber-soled boots as brakes. I went on the toboggan run in Madeira. It was the fastest I've ever traveled while sitting in a piece of furniture. So there you have it. Colorful palaces, mysterious wells, breathtaking coastlines, a bookshop so beautiful it could make you weep, trams, tarts, towers, and we've barely even scratched the surface. It's a country that packs so much history, culture, and natural beauty that every single day of your visit can be a brand new adventure. It's a place that manages to be both epic and intimate at the same time. The best part about Portugal, though, isn't just the sights. It's the feeling you get when you're there. It's the warmth of the people, the relaxed pace of life, and the genuine joy that seems to permeate the air. It's about sitting at a cafe with a coffee and a pastry, watching the world go by without a care. It's about discovering a tiny family-run restaurant in a back alley and having the best meal of your life. It's about finding that perfect spot to watch the sunset over the ocean and feeling completely and utterly content. It's a country that reminds you to enjoy the simple pleasures. From the vibrant energy of Lisbon and Porto to the fairy tale landscapes of Sintra and the sun-drenched beaches of the Algarve, Portugal has something for everyone. Whether you're a history buff, a foodie, a nature lover, or just someone in desperate need of a good holiday, you'll come for the sights, but you'll want to stay for the soul. And for the custard tarts, obviously. Let's not forget the custard tarts. So, what are you waiting for?